Hey, Johnny, it's time for another episode of your podcast, and we are in the midst of a series on lifeboats. Hey, and you doing okay today?
Doing well, yes. Lifeboats, man. There's a lot of them. We got to make sure we got them.
Well, absolutely. Because it's interesting on the last episode that we were talking about guaranteed income for life and things, and you were talking about you can help people who have $2 million or people who have $500,000, and it got me thinking when I was on this big cruise ship, it was pretty massive. But there were cruise ships bigger, and then we pulled into port one time, and there were like smaller yachts, and then there were smaller like personal craft, but they all have lifeboats. And so no matter what your portfolio size is, no matter how much money you have, you need these lifeboats. And we talked about, well, rehash for us a little bit about that last episode. We were talking about guaranteed income and things, and then let's talk about making your money last for a
Well,
little
one
bit.
of the ways that's most important to people, once again, we hear about um, biggest concerns that I hear with people is make sure I don't run out of money. So one of the ways we can do this through a fixed index annuity concept for people, those type of products with guaranteed income streams for life. So you can turn your retirement into a self-funded pension, so to say, so that money will be paid to you forever. You'll never run out of money with an income stream. So you're going to have your Social Security, you're going to have your guaranteed income stream. Those are two things that you're going to have when you wake up January 1st of every year. I know I'm getting this much money from those things.
Mm-hmm.
And then we create other lifeboats to protect you from other uncertainties, other storms that could come your way. Um, with those as a building block. So if there's a concern for you, it's like, I don't want to run out of money. How am I going to make sure I have income no matter how long I live? That guaranteed income stream type products are one of those things that can do that. Really,
Yeah,
the only thing that can really, I mean, there's not many other things that provide guarantees.
there really aren't.
Insurance companies that work with these type of products, they're there to provide protection and guarantees in case something happens. And so
Right.
the market doesn't provide that. Companies don't even provide that no more. There's very few things that provide guarantees. So that's one that you can latch on to help
Well,
you.
and it's interesting that you just mentioned that the companies don't provide it anymore because we talked about this in episodes two or three back that it used to be that companies would provide a pension, right? But what people have to understand, and correct me if I'm wrong, because I'm not the financial advisor here, you are, but the company that you worked for worked with an insurance company to provide that pension. Is that right, or am I messed up there?
That's exactly right. That's what they did. So they teamed up with insurers and companies that
Yeah.
provided those products and services. The difference was the place you worked handled it, but now you
Right.
have to handle it.
Yeah.
So we got to have the same wisdom that worked for years for them and use it in our own personal finances. And I am amazed so many times how people look at the name of the product versus the result of what it'll do.
Mm.
It's an annuity or it's this or that. Forget about the name of it. It
Yeah.
accomplishes this goal, which is what you are wanting to have
Right.
completed in your life. It provides you with the answers, the solutions you need. So that's one of the aspects. Great products there. That's why big companies use them. Very wealthy people use different insurance companies to protect their wealth and do things like that too. So, um,
Well, and the other aspect here in making your money last your lifetime, right? And one of the things that I know that you've talked about in other episodes that you can do with these annuities is, and I think the term that you used was laddering them, where you turn on an income stream and then maybe 4 or 5 years later you have another annuity that kicks in because of inflation maybe or something like that, or basically you're getting a pay raise in retirement. did do I am I remembering that properly?
I mean, you certainly can do that. There's so many features now of these. Once again, it's money with a purpose. So how much money of your portfolio and money do we want to, retirement money, do we want to designate for your guaranteed income stream? This is what the reports show us. This is what the insurance company is saying they're going to guarantee. We can divide that number up between starting one in 5 years, 10 years, or right away, whatever it may be. But here's the things that can cause you to run out of money. All right. If your money's on the market, volatility in the market, global, domestic problems, that can cause you to lose a lot of your money. A sickness can cause you to lose a lot of your money, right? You'll run out of money if you have to go to a long-term care, need assisted living. That's very expensive. If you just have your money you're working with there, it can cause you to run out of money. A death, right? You're not prepared. I still owe on the mortgage. I've got all these expenses, whatever it may be. You die, the spouse now has to use that money to survive on, right?
Right.
So now that could cause you to run out of money. Emergencies that come up, we talked about sicknesses, but maybe it's family members or some kind of physical thing. I have to get a new car. I have to do this or that. I got to do this big repair in my house or whatever it may be can cause you to run out of money. So the unexpected needs to be addressed and be like, okay, how can I ensure that if these things happen, it's not going to cause me to run out of money? So we got guaranteed income handled, right? We can
Right.
handle that. Okay, sickness, health, assisted living, can we tackle that too? And yes, some of those same products provide guaranteed income, provide that feature to help you as well. What's really cool, say the income stream is $40,000 a year. So you've taken some of this money, put it in this product with the insurance company, and they're going to say, we're going to pay you $40,000 a year when you turn on that income stream in 3 years.
Hmm.
What's cool about those now also is they developed them to where if you can't do 2 of 6 living activities, like a assisted living, long-term care type situation,
Hmm.
that payment will actually double for 5 years. So instead
Wow.
of getting 40,000, now you'll get $80,000 and they'll pay that out to you for 5 years. And then it goes back to your regular income stream.
Hmm.
So what have we done? We've taken this money, we've created an income for life stream. At the same time, when that illness or sickness might arise in our life, we've made that money more valuable to protect myself in case that happens. Okay. So that's one thing that we can look and say, hey, how do I protect in case an illness or sickness from a long-term care perspective happens? So I'm not
Mm.
just draining it out of my savings or my
Right.
retirement account, but I'm using the insurance company, putting them on the hook.
Right.
They're going to pay me more. They're going to do what they said they're going to do if something like that happens. That's why I use them. That's why companies used them years ago, right?
Right.
That's why they're there and we can utilize their products and services to do that. There's also other products that aren't long-term care insurance, but once again, you could take money that maybe you're just, I want this $100,000 if I have to go to a facility or something, I'm going to use that. So I set that aside. You can take the $100,000, still let it grow with interest, but if you get an illness or sickness like the long-term care situation, that $100,000 can now turn into $200,000 for those issues, or even up to $300,000 on some of these products that are out there. So once again, using wisdom, I can make this money that I designate for that worth more in case something happens. So I'm protected there. So if it costs $200,000 for that situation, my $100,000, which is actually worth $300,000 because that happened, is going to protect me and help me for that situation. So we can
Right.
handle guaranteed income. We can handle the storms of illness or sickness. It's a long-term care type concept, assisted living, whatever it may be. We can handle those storms. What's another storm that can cause you to lose money? Well, if you die, right?
Oh yeah.
If you die, and the leftover spouse or whoever it may be needs now to use this money to take care of some of these other things or issues, it will drain that money. So what can you use for that? Well, you could use like life insurance. A lot of people
Mm.
don't associate life insurance with retirement planning because we just once again we've talked about life insurance several times over the last 8 or 9 months.
Yeah.
But I try to bang it in people's heads that, man, look at life insurance as part of your retirement planning. Look at
Absolutely.
it that way. Number one is tax free. Number two, it's taking this much money that you're paying the insurance company, but it's turning into this much money
Yeah.
if you die. So once again, everything I'm talking about is how do I make the money that I have more valuable for each individual storm?
Yeah.
I know how to do it for income. I can turn this amount of money but make it last forever. I'm going to take out more than what I started with, but I'm guaranteed because it lasts forever. I can take this amount of money. If I get sick or ill from a long-term care type thing, I can make it worth this.
Yeah.
I could take this amount of money. So if I die, it's worth this. So those are three storms: volatility, running out of money, assisted living, long-term care, and death. Three
Mm.
storms that we simply can help handle fairly easily and quickly if we just review, show
Right.
you what the numbers look like, and this is what it'll do for you.
Yeah.
So
Because
boom.
those are tools that you have in your toolbox, and these are each individual lifeboats that you can attach to the ship, the retirement plan that somebody comes to you. They've saved their money for years, they've been working hard, now they're in retirement, and those immediate fears of, I'm going to run out of money, what about long-term care, what happens when I die, all of those, you have lifeboats that you can create just specifically for each client. And that's what I want these our listeners to understand is you don't have like a lifeboat factory that produces the same lifeboat and you stick it on everybody. Each retirement plan is unique, just like each ship is unique and requires a different size lifeboat. That's what we're talking about here, folks, is having lifeboats for guaranteed income, lifeboats for healthcare problems, lifeboats for death. All of those lifeboats need to be part of your retirement plan. It's part of your ship, as we say, that has come in. It's going back out to sea full of lifeboats, peace, protection, safety, comfort, everything that you want. Man,
And
there's so much
the
more.
other one we didn't even get to yet was the storm of volatility, the storm
Mm,
of uncertainty. There are now things we can utilize to say, hey, we can protect your funds from that uncertainty, but still, when things go well, you can participate in the growth of the market up to a percentage. So, yeah, you can still make a decent amount of interest on your money, but when it drops 20%, you don't lose any of your money.
that's
These are
right.
things that all these insurance companies have sitting out there that are available to people that handle four major storms: volatility, death, income loss, running out of money, and illness or sickness from assisted living situation. Those are four things that are out there, four tools that are out there that you could see. And I think overall, yeah, man, we still have a team members that work with folks that want to have money in the market for a little more volatile situations. But we also have all these other services and products that are going to help out as well
Hmm.
to have a balanced view of everything.
Right.
So when storms come, I can be protected and not cause me to run out of money because I've got these lifeboats, I've got these tools.
That's right. It's so cool. You just gave me an idea for a couple more episodes down the road that we're going to talk about because of the way you just crafted all that. So we'll save that for another day. But keep listening to this podcast because we're going to dive in a little bit deeper in the next episode about some roller coasters and how fun those can be. And we'll talk about how roller coasters tie into lifeboats and retirement and how you need to structure everything. But between now and then, go grab a copy of Johnny's book, his Amazon bestselling book, Retire at New Heights. And you can get that at retireatnewheights.com and schedule a call with him, help him create your retirement cruise ship
And
with
if
the
you're watching this on YouTube, please like, subscribe, share the channel to other people to check out. Every podcast is on there as well,
Yep,
besides Apple and Spotify. So we'd love, just to spread the word, let people know what we're trying to do here. And, you know, we enjoy doing it. So we like more people to see and don't put any bad comments. So you're not allowed to. No
that's
smack in
right.
the chat. No
That's right,
smack in
exactly. Yeah. That'll get your lifeboat sunk, buddy. So, all right, Johnny, we'll talk to you next time, man.
All right. Thanks, Mike.